You sit right there. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll ask everyone to please come forward for the today's groundbreaking ceremony. Good afternoon, everyone. Please come forward. We do have some chairs available, and so we are certainly excited to be here today in Alberta. Please, if you would, just come on a little bit forward. Our goal is to be done with the ceremony by 2:15, so we want to be very efficient and effective with your time today. So on behalf of the city of Tuscaloosa, it's so good to see every one of you here. Accomplishing a groundbreaking with an active roadway, both sides of you, can be very difficult and a little bit noisy. And so I hope all of you will be patient with us. Before I get started with recognitions of those who are involved in this project, we have some special guests that are here that both Mr. Tyner and I will be recognizing. First, we have President Moeller here from the university, and Dan Lozelle, who is the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer for the university. Thank you so much for joining us today. I see many friends. Yes, absolutely. The city has no better partner than the University of Alabama, and this roadway has and continues to be a roadway to the capstone that we all love so much. I want to begin by thanking Kay Day and the Arts and Entertainment Department of the city who puts these events on. I saw Kay earlier. To the Arts and Entertainment team that puts this on. So before I begin recognizing our team members, I want to thank on this project. I think back to a meeting a couple of years ago with Frank Summers and several others on the TTL team, and I know it was the most pleasant of meetings that we had when we were looking at the cost estimates for this project and how complicated it would be. But here's one of the reasons why the city respects TTL so much. You were spot on in what you designed and what you delivered. And the fact is, and so I gave you hell for the project at the time for being a little bit above budget. Here's the good news. Guess what? We came in $3 million under budget with the project. TTL, great job in that. Frank Summers, I see you back there looking like Uncle Boo. I like that, looking good. Great job to you and your TTL team. I want to thank Dominion Construction for being the lowest responsible bidder under state law for this project, but more important, I want to thank you for the job that you do. Dominion was absolutely fabulous on McWright's Ferry Road and helping to deliver that project on time and on budget. I have no doubt that the Dominion team, Michael Free and his entire team, will make that happen. I do also want to recognize our city staff members who made this happen. Too oftentimes I leave one of our team members out, and to our team members, please know that if I do so, blame it on my mind and not my heart. I first want to thank the Office of City Engineer, Mike Gardner, and his leadership, but in particular I want to thank a couple of engineers that work under Mike's direction. Clint Bradford, is Clint here? Clint, raise your hand, great job. I also want to thank Christina Houghton. Is Christina here? I don't see Christina. They did an unbelievable job, and one of the tricks to this project was acquiring 52 different parcels of rights-of-way to make this project happen. That is not easy. And so, and especially the work with the utility companies, great job. I'm very, very, very honored to call you a colleague, and I'm very proud of your work. I want to thank our operations department and Brendan Moore for their work on this. We couldn't have done this. The answer is always money, so what's the question? I want to thank our accounting and finance team, Carly Standridge, I'm so excited, Mr. Tyner, I'm getting mixed up in my words. Carly Standridge, Savannah Hornsby, the entire team within A&F, thank you so much for all the work that you've done. From IT to urban development, to the city attorney's office, Scott Holmes, Sarah Miller, and the legendary Tom Bobbitt. Fantastic job in what you've accomplished. This project, though, is more than just asphalt, utility relocation, and sidewalks. This project is a commitment to Alberta. Now, the city's commitment to Alberta has always been strong. But after the April 27, 2011 tornado that destroyed 13% of our city and nearly 60% of Alberta, we doubled down on a commitment to make certain that we never forgot Alberta. We have learned a lot of lessons in that journey. But the one thing through it all, both in success and failure, has been this relentlessness to make certain that we do everything we can to honor everybody who lost so much. Today's project is just another fact to the city's commitment to making certain that Alberta is restored to where it needs and should be for the people who pay our salary. Mr. Tyner is going to recognize our council members here, but I do want to thank all of our city council members for your belief and faith and funding in this project. Ultimately, you are the decision makers, and we are very thankful to that. And I want to thank the Metropolitan Planning Organization for your belief and funding. We have this commitment, or why I know we have this commitment to Alberta. But that commitment is also validated by Mr. Kip Tyner. Kip Tyner and Kip and I were talking yesterday, and we were talking about how much of our lives we've given to public service. It goes without saying, Kip Tyner has given nearly his entire life to Alberta. Alberta is in this man's DNA. It truly is. And every cause has to have a champion. Kip Tyner has been Alberta's champion. Kip Tyner had told me he will be their champion for at least 4 or 5 more terms, I think, if I understood yesterday. And you know what? The city will be lucky to have him. I hope all of you will join me in welcoming the champion of Alberta, the champion of our city, and my dear friend, Kip Tyner.
Moving on up, on the east side. I've been waiting for that for how many months, Mayor? George Jefferson is my favorite American. And ever since I came on the city council in 1997, I wanted to move on up on the east side. And this is the culmination of about 10 years in the making. But I tell you what, through all of this, I cannot tell you, we would not be here today without Mayor Walt Maddox. He has been steadfast in supporting me in every bit of the way. Every time it looks like things were going south again, I'd go to him and have a session, and he would call me and say, we're gonna get there, we're gonna make it happen, and he never failed. So I want to really thank such a credible friend and just the best mayor possible, Mayor Walt Maddox. Now, it takes 4. In this case, we had all 7. And I cannot tell you, gosh, because I'm thinking back how many council people that were so involved in this that made it happen. This was a dream of mine. It was a dream of my mother's, and that's what makes it emotional, especially for me today, because she wanted to live to see this happen. And she almost made it, but so I dedicate everything to her today because she loved Alberta almost maybe more than I. So thank you, Mom. And also to my council members, past and present, but especially those here today, and who are not only colleagues, but just dear, dear friends. Councilor Cassius Lanier from District 7. Councilor Raven Howard from District 2. Councilor John Fail from District 6. And Councilor Norman Crow from District 3, and Councilor, and I call him Colonel Lee Busby from District 4, who was just featured on USA Today, if you get a copy. And also my dear, 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 dear friend, our city school board representative, Erica Grant. Is here, Erica? I think Walt made, again, most of the names that were very important to recognize today. But I believe there were a few more that I'd like to add. And if you can hold your applause, and I'm going to get through everybody. Katie Beth Jackson, Carly Standridge, Laura Leach, Sarah Bridger Gilmore, Eric Thompson, Craig Thorpe, Jason Foster, Jonathan Skelton, Caitlin DiDomenico, and Lily McIntyre, Sarah Miller, and I believe that is it. I also want to give a special thanks to Tom Bobbitt. This, I think, you know, this is massive, this project, and the reason you just think we had to go through all the property acquisition and then get the letters back whether they wanted to donate their properties or not, and then once you got the letters, then you had to have the assessments, and thank you, and then see if they would accept what was being offered to them. We had very contentious meetings at times, but the last meeting we had a few weeks ago, all smiles, not one complaint on what is about to happen. Growing up here, I've watched people for years walk in ditches, very dangerous conditions, and this is one of the main reasons this project's being done, because we'll have not only sidewalks on both sides, but 10-foot shared on one side, 6 foot on the other, and underground utilities, and then of course the new lighting, the landscaping, and security cameras. It's going to be something that I've just only dreamed about, but now it's reality. And I also want to say something too about, you know, I lost my little brother on this street, and I think about him a lot because the increase in the lighting and everything, and I often think, and I believe so strongly in the good Lord, and I believe it was His time, but I wish that we had, you know, maybe I thought about if the lighting had just been better, or he might have been seen instead of hit. So this is personal, it's emotional, and I just cannot thank all. I look at it, I mean, I wish I could name every person here, because you've all had such a big role in my life. I've been in the city council 29 years now. 29 years, and the mayor and I have served together 25 years, and I told him I had at least, let's see, I think I'll stop at when I reach 100, possibly. And if it weren't for my darn knees, I would get there. But I'm struggling with my knees today. You know, a few years ago, I had over 700 hours of chemotherapy, and my doctors told me, said, we're going to get your cancer, but it's going to get your bones down the road. And so, but I'm just happy to be walking. Other than these knees, I'm fine. I'm in good health and in great spirits, especially today. And look, there's something else. I want to recognize Clay Hudson with Allied. Clay has made the biggest impact on Alberta's comeback since the tornado, and I really appreciate that, Clay. I really, really do. All right. Well, again, thank you. I never dreamed we would get to this day. It's one of the happiest days of my life. And so, Mayor, I guess we will break some ground. And who's going to direct?
So
Nicole?
Just need the city council members to come forward. We will break some ground. We hope all of you have a great day, and thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's all you can ask. We had family in town, and I hated it all. But it was nice to, like, it was relaxing. Yeah, it was absolutely.
Tony Bowden, so it won't be too much.
How big a deal is this, kid? This is one of the, I think, most transformational projects maybe in Alabama. So this is just another one of the major projects and bouncing back. But one of the most important things to me too is these. It was rated as probably the #1 area needed for sidewalks, and so we'll be having shared path sidewalks on one side and 6-foot sidewalks on the other. So no more walking in ditches.
You talked up there some about the safety, bringing up your brother
Right.
and everything. What is this going to mean to this area and to the residents of Alberta City?
You know, it's again, it's going to be transformational. This is an area that's kind of been overlooked, as opposed to the other end of Alberta. So this will be given a brand new coat of paint, you know, and we've got an international German company that is just 1 mile from here, and most of their clients that come in from around all across Europe, but Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, this is the way they come. So they're going, you know, it's going to be a great entrance for an international German company and the original gateway to the University of Alabama, because back in the day, the only way you could get to the university was through Alberta.
How long is this going to take?
Should take a year. You know, when I say, they told me a year, 10 months to a year, I say 14 months. I always try to add something to it. But if weather permits and gets through, I think we could do it in a year.
Good.
Sound good?
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yes, I don't want to take it back.
Oh my God, yeah. I've had a few walk off, talk that's right.
I'll make sure you get
First name up, wasn't it? Yes, sir. They'll start doing the fencing and all that.
It got toasty all of a sudden.
It did, right?
That sun came out. Yes, sir. Can I get you some water? Yes, sir.
They'll probably do better than trying to do that.
Walt, W-A-L-T, Maddox, M-A-D-D-O-X.
How big a deal is this, Walt?
It is a really big deal because we have worked for years to get this project EQ funded and ready. This $21.2 million project is more than just laying asphalt, burying utility lines, creating sidewalks, and a more aesthetically pleasing Alberta. It's about keeping a commitment that started on April 27, 2011 to rebuild this community. And so I'm very proud that we can continue to keep that promise.
Where does it start? Where does it end?
Well, it ends from where, it starts from Crescent Ridge Road right here, and it will proceed all the way back down to 30th.
What do you want the people to know about this? Why is this important to pretty much everybody who lives here and comes through here?
Well, we know from Tuscaloosa's history that Alberta began as a thriving suburb of this city. For many decades, it was the hub of economic commerce and retail development, housing development. But unfortunately, even in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Alberta lost a step. But then they elected a council member named Kip Tyner. And since that time, and especially post April 27, 2011, we have made the investments and the private sector has followed. People like Clay Hudson have put developments in Alberta, and it's going to continue to grow and prosper. I want them to know that this project symbolizes our continued commitment to, and our continued faith that Alberta will again rise.
Hey Mayor, it's just the beginning of a new year. Just talk about what's more to come for Tuscaloosa in 2026.
Well, I think what you will see in 2026 is a continuation of 2025. We saw the Sabin Center is under construction. We'll be nearly completed 12 months from now. So we'll be about 5 months from finishing in 12 months. That's exciting. You'll see MLK Phase 3 open up, which will open up the train trestles near the amphitheater. That's going to improve the ability for us to grow economically in the West Tuscaloosa. And certainly, you're going to see a lot of orange barrels out here for the next year. But that's why we want people to go to Tuscaloosa.com to sign up for our road alerts, because we know progress is not easy. And so progress is what you will see in every corner of this city.
When this is done, What's it going to look like?
It's going to look like anything that you would see downtown Tuscaloosa, and that's what we want. This is a gateway not only into Alberta, but into the University of Alabama, which is the sun of our economic solar system. So we want this to add value to that, because when we do that, that grows jobs. Those jobs make sure that families can have a home, save for their children's future, and have a great quality of life.
Good.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Guys.
Oh, and I